I'll tell you one story about my Uncle Cy.
Tell me.
Rest in peace. My father's brother, Cy, he was the middle one. And he was a big Met fan, crazy Met fan.
Okay.
He lived for the New York Mets.
I'm a big Met fan, too. I got the Mets on my
And I'm going to tell you, remind me to tell you about the Keith Hernandez story.
Okay.
So anyway, Uncle Cy. So at the end of our bar, when you're walking into the dining room on the left, we had a TV in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So Uncle Cy came to work every day with a suit and a bow tie.
Okay.
Spectacular dresser. Every day. Lived upstairs, he traveled, took him 2 hours to get to work. From upstairs, he walked downstairs, came in.
Yeah.
So anyway, we used to watch the Met games all the time. And he used to sit there and he used to have, we had linen and we had white napkins, linen napkins stuff. So he would hold a napkin always on his arm like that. And this is when he got really old. And he had his glasses with like Coke bottles. Poor guy could hardly see. So he'd be sitting there watching the Met game. So one of the guys in the neighborhood, you might know him, you've heard of him, Patty Alaka.
Okay.
He lives right down the block from Fortunato's.
I know the Alaco family.
No, it's Alaka.
Alaka.
Vinny and Patty. Vinny's a painter.
I might know him if I see him.
Yeah, if you see him. Funny guy. He talks with a raspy voice. Raspy voice. He talks, right? Patty. So Patty, they're in the restaurant. It was like, I think it might have been a Saturday or Sunday afternoon game. So it was not many people in the bar, or the restaurant. So Cy's watching TV. He's like, come on, get a hit. He's watching the game. Patty goes up, puts his arm behind the TV. Back then, the old TVs, you had the little thing you turned.
Yeah.
He turned it off and made the whole screen black, but the sound was still on. You know how you adjust the color?
Right.
Little things in the back of the TV. You don't know that, right?
Yeah, no, I remember. We had those when I was a kid still.
So he shut the whole TV off black, leave the sound on, and Cy used to sit there and watch and stay there and watch the game. We used to leave him there for a half hour, 45 minutes.
Because he couldn't see. He was just listening the whole time.
Yeah, he's listening to it. It could have been on radio. So then Patty or me or my brother or somebody or one of the customers would go, Cy, what are you doing? You go, watching a Met game. What Met game? It's not on.
And he started, that's hilarious. So,
oh, God.
What, you were saying before that, like, at some point, what was it? Your father moved out to Long Island?
Yeah, we bought a house in Long Island.
Okay.
Long Island. Yeah.
Where at?
We actually went out to Uniondale, Long Island, back in the day near the Nassau Coliseum.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we built a house out there, and everybody wanted to leave Brooklyn. Everybody wanted to go out to the island.
Sure. You get the white picket fence.
Yeah, the suburban life. Family, all the suburban life, and all that stuff.
Like you see on television.
Yeah, it's on television only.
Yeah, that's right. No, I would agree with that.
But in fact, when Jimmy used to come, I'm gonna tell you a story about Jimmy now.
Yeah. Tell me.
Okay, so Jimmy used to come in the afternoons he had a driver. His name was Booney. So Booney used to come into Crisci's in the afternoon, and probably we used to shut down at 4:00.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, 3:30, and open back up at 5. Okay. So in downtime,
clean up everything.
We clean up, and the guys we would eat dinner for everybody. Luigi would make a meal for everybody, so on and so forth.
Family dinner.
Right. So then Jimmy used to come in about that time because he lived in Manhattan. On the east side, but 50, I think about 52nd or 51st, between 1st and 2nd or something like that. Yeah, beautiful home, elevator in there, gym, sauna, the whole 9 yards.
Nice.
So Booney used to say, I'm going to go pick up Jimmy. You go pick up Jimmy. So Cy used to tell Jimmy, Booney, ask Jimmy when he wants to eat. I'll have it ready when he gets here. So most of the time, the older guys, they would have soup.
Right.
Lendic, pasta cicci, pasta fagioli, we had all different soups.
Sure.
So, lendic with spinach, right?
Yeah, what are these soups? Explain them to me.
Lentil soup.
What's an lendic?
Lendic is Italian for lentils.
Yeah.
So that's what it's called, lendic.
So that spinach, the lentils.
It used to be basically lentil soup, or what you made with the prosciutto hocks or the skins and stuff.
Well, there's a lot of people in the Midwest that don't know what you're talking about right now.
So that's what lentil soup was. And then they would add spinach in it or escarole.
Okay.
Or pasta too.
Yeah.
And then pasta fagioli is just your regular cannellini bean soup, with some little tomato base, and again with the prosciutto bones, little tortellini, tagliatelles, whatever you like, zupettis, so on and so. And So that was soup. So Jimmy used to come in. They used to sit at his table. He had a round table in the corner. No window near him. He sat in the corner.
Right.
So
see if anybody's coming at him.
Exactly. Just like the movies. So anyway, Cy used to say I was in the kitchen. So Cy was short, and we had a metal stainless steel racks. We had the steam table. It was probably about 12 to 14 feet long. Okay. And there was a steam table. There was one shelf up here, and then you had another shelf on top where we had the hot lamps. We used to serve the food.
Right.
So Cy was at the height where he was in between the bottom thing and the top shelf, so you could hardly see him.
Right.
The shelf was right across his face. So he used to come in with the napkin, bow tie, and he used to call me Louis. He goes, Louis. I said, yeah, Uncle Cy, what do you need? He goes, Jimmy's coming. Make me 2 lentil soup, blendique with the chopped spinach. I said, okay, Uncle Cy, no problem. He walk out, he come back in, chop it up real fine, because, Jimmy can't chew.
What?
But you had to be there to really appreciate how it came out,
What was he? Why would he say he couldn't chew? He didn't have teeth or something?
No, he had teeth. I don't know why he would say that. I think it was more that he couldn't chew. Maybe his teeth. You know what I mean? It wasn't Jimmy. It wasn't Jimmy.
I know, John's family had the pizzeria in Long Island. Did you ever go out there?
Yeah, it's Centurion Pizza off of Nassau Road in Garden City South.
What was that about?
So it was a basic, regular good pizzeria. Now, John, the way we're related, me and John, is, remember, let's go back to Sonny.
Okay.
The guy Sonny up there. Well, he had a brother, Vinny.
Okay.
Which is Sal's from San Marco's father-in-law.
Jesus.
Okay, so there I am making tagliatelle noodles fresh. That's my brother Peter in the back.
Oh wow,
that's it. Every day.
On the wood butcher block too. Yep. Yeah, I'm studying to be as Filipino. You have to use the wood.
I had hand crank. My father would never let me get an electric motor.
Right.
Oh my God, at the time I made raviolis out off of that. I made everything off of that.
How old are you there? You think?
Oh gosh, I'm probably 21, 22 years old.
Who's this? Is this what we're looking for?
No, that's Jimmy Knapp again.
That's Jimmy Knapp again. Hey, come on, keep going, Braids.
Come on, Brady, wake up over there.
Let's go.
Okay, here's Sonny. So Sonny's brother, Vinny, is Sal from San Marco's father-in-law. Geraldine, Jerry, Sal's wife.
Bro.
And they're brothers.
Okay.
Vinny's wife and John Arena. That's how John fits into the family, through Vinny's wife.
Vinny's wife is
blood with John Arena.
Okay, is blood with John Arena.
Right.
Okay. All right. We're gonna have to make like a family tree of all this. I mean, all these podcasts. It's
crazy. You never would thought, right?
It's so many people are connected that I'm 95% sure that like if we do this, like after 6 more months of doing this, we're gonna be able to create like a pretty accurate family tree of the history of New York style pizza and who's who learned from who, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So when did your family used to go to that day? Like who opened it? His father, right? It must have been
John's father.
Yeah, John's pizzeria.
Yeah, John's father.
And it was called Santori's.
Centurion Pizza.
Because I've seen pictures of John at Metro in Vegas, and he looks young. Like
he's a stud too, right? You see the build on him?
Yeah, he's got the he looks like a little bull.
Yeah,
he looks like a little bull coming at you.
But when he went there, him and Sam, his cousin, his other cousin, went there. I think went on vacation or something like that. And they didn't want to go back. They didn't want to go back home.
Yeah, the story he kind of told me was like, yeah, they went out there. They were like looking around. They're like, there's no pizzerias out there. We're gonna be freaking richer than you know what I'm saying, Mickey Mantle. And we're gonna be. I mean, the way he tells the story is he was like, yo, we got this place. We had to sell the car to actually afford
sold everything pretty much.
And he was like, we thought like in a year we'd be sipping margaritas at the Flamingo by the poolside.
And back then,
didn't turn out like that.
No, and back then when John went out there and Sam and they started and did all that, not many of us went there. It was a far trip back in the day.
Sure.
Nobody went to Vegas. If you went to Vegas, it was a big deal. I remember we went one year with my father. We went to the Sands Hotel on behalf of Jimmy. We had beautiful. We seen Dean Martin, and I seen who's the comedian, Jimmy Durante, the old comedian, Baba at the Sands, and we had a great time. But to go out to Vegas was like a big deal. It was almost going like to Europe. How
much did it cost a lot on the planes back then? Because what was it? Wasn't it only like Pan Am was like the only airline?
TWA, Pan Am, or something like that? Yeah, it was only nobody, and it was in the middle. It was in the desert. So nobody really went out there. When I started going out there a lot was because of business. And we'll talk about that down the road. Is when I started attending the pizza expos and things like that. So then I started going more and more and more. Because I'm not a big gambler, so it never was an attraction for me to really just get in a plane and go to Vegas.
Yeah, I'm the same exact way. The way I grew up, I mean, I grew up around so many like degenerate gamblers. And like, my cousin Tommy, he would take me as a kid and we'd go to the old cafes over at Betsy Gravesend. And, you're sitting in a smoke-filled basement on a Friday night, mind you. And, I'm getting sent out to fetch more cigarettes because these guys are fucking chain smoking. And I'm like, bro, I'm watching this guy dump $800. And I'm like, do you know the time we could have had in Manhattan? You know the night we could have had with $800 in the city? Like, are you out of your mind? You sat here and looked at a video machine. So I never the first times I went to Vegas, first time I went, I was like, okay, I'm in Vegas. Let me see what this is about. Okay, how's this roulette thing work? Oh, you pick a color and you put some money. All right, no problem. I lost $60 in it felt like 45 seconds. And I was like, this is the dumbest thing. I could have been fucking wasted. And that's what I did. I went out to the fucking strip and I got wasted.
Every morning when I used to walk in the Crisci's, this gentleman, great guy, Lucky.
Okay.
So Lucky used to be sitting near the phone booth. If you watch the movie and you see the phone booth that the phone that Danielle uses in the front window there. So Lucky used to sit at the bar every day. So all the waiters, when they came in, they used to come in and say, good morning to Lucky. Mm-hmm. And they used to give all their action to Lucky. So our waiters back in the day, they probably were spending $200 to $300 a day just in gambling.
Jesus Christ.
But
back then too, you could buy a fucking house in a couple months.
And then they hit Lefty up, and then in the afternoon when Booney would go out to see Jimmy, they go see Booney too, and Booney would take more action because you had day races, you had horse races, all kinds of stuff going on.
Sure.
But when they hit the numbers, like my cousin Armand, when he hit a number, he hit it for 25,000, 30,000. Right. But it was only every 4 or 5 years. If you're lucky.
I'll tell you a funny story. We were mentioning Sal, so I walk into Sally Napkin, San Marco Pizza in Williamsburg.
I can tell you stories.
So I walk into it was a daytime. I walk into Junior's to get like a little, this is back when I was day drinking like 2 times a week at least, and I walk in to go get a drink, And Sally's sitting there in the corner, and he goes, forget about the pizza. It's all about the numbers. And he hit, and he's got 3 bricks, $10,000 bricks of cash. He's got one hanging out of his pocket. He's got a roll in his pocket. He goes, oh, we're all going out to Luger's. We jump in the car. We drive down there. Sally's treated. He's handing everybody on the street $20 bills. Sally's a nut job. We call him Sally Napkins because
I never knew him as that.
Sally thinks that napkins are confetti. So when Sally starts drinking, which is, used to be a daily occurrence, he goes outside with a stack of napkins and starts throwing it up in the air. And if you go to the Gillio Fist to this day, you'll be able to catch like Sally Napkins throwing napkins all over the freaking street. But he's got a brick, a $10,000 brick, and he's got these straight pockets on the jacket.
Probably to the 3 days?
I don't know, probably. Yeah, of course. But like we're walking to Luger's, and he's got this thing hanging out of his pocket. He's wearing a straight jacket with these straight things. So you see the brick, half of the money, like coming out. And I'm worried. I'm like looking around. I'm like, who's going to try to hit us right now? You know what I mean? Because you're walking around
you're
like that.
Thinking if that thing falls out, you're picking it up.
Bro, the wrong person freaking sees that though. And it's like, okay, this is, let me grab whatever. And, this is worth it. But, thanks God it didn't happen. We had a great day at Luger's. But, yeah, I mean, that's what I think gets these degenerate gamblers sometimes is like seeing somebody that hits for 20, but you don't realize he's spending freaking 20 a year, like to hit once every 3 years.
And the waiters in Crisci back then in the so let's say like the late 70s and 80s, they were pulling in probably $2,500 to $3,000 a week.
That doesn't even fucking make sense because I'm thinking about the fact
it wasn't
that,
a matter of how much the tab was. It was just a matter of the relationship with the customers.
Yeah.
Like we had Barney Rizzo. I don't know if you remember Rizzo Trucking on the north side. It was a big trucking outfit. So Barney Rizzo used to come and eat lunch, late lunch, early dinner every day. He would come Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. His secretary, he would come in with her, his gumad. Okay, he lived in Valley Stream. And so he'd sit at a deuce along the windows every day. And my cousin, Sonny, who we mentioned earlier in the bar there, was his waiter. Nobody else could wait on him.
Okay.
So Barney used to eat, him and his girl, and Sonny gave him the check, pays the check, goodbye, see you later, son, Barney, boom, boom, boom. Every day, he left my cousin a $100 bill as a tip. So it's not about what they ate or how much they ate worth. It's about relationships. You know,
100%.
they've been waiters for each other and customers of each other for 20, 30 years, 40 years.
That's not, I mean, the thing that I'm talking about is that the fact that, like, when you start thinking about them, when you start researching how much a home cost back then, it wasn't that much money.
That neighborhood, they were buying $12,000. I used to tell my father, so-and-so's house on Constellation for sale for $9,000, $11,000. Let's buy it. Let's buy it. Nah, we're not in the business. We're about the restaurant. I could own half of that neighborhood. You know, I'd be right now. I'd be with Donald Trump.
I'm thinking about these guys that they were, you know, they're making all this money. They're spending all this money on gambling. Like, each one of those waiters could own half the freaking neighborhood back then. And, it sounds like, you know, it wasn't a bad place to be. It sounds like it was a safe place.
It was
you know
very
what I mean?
safe. Nobody bothered us, like I said earlier. Nobody bothered. That neighborhood was a mint neighborhood. And, you know, we were talking earlier about Bensonhurst.
Mm-hmm.
Bensonhurst got all the glory of being the Italian neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
L&B Spumoni Gardens, a few of these pastry shops and stuff like that.
Well, growing up over there, I didn't even know there were Italians in Williamsburg, and I grew up 8 miles away.
We were the hidden secret.
Yeah.
We laid low. Nobody knew.
Right. No, I know that, like, when I first went over there, you know, when I got to know everybody, because I remember sitting in the cafe, John's Cafe on Avenue U, you know, that Johnny, Marcello, and Carmine all ran. And I remember when the you know, Daily Post article came out that Mario had got, you know, arrested for yada, yada. Yeah. And I remember reading it.
So you remember that?
I remember I was in a cafe in Bensonhurst reading that. I was probably 17 or 18 years old. And then when I, you know, met the Fortunato family or whatever, I was like, I read this story. And, you know, by that time, Mario had already let go. He sued those guys. He got a lot of money for what they did to him.
He's a great guy. I took one of my coworkers there about a year and a half ago, and Mario happened to be there because the grandkid, the son, what's his name?
They're all named Biagio.
Yeah, he kind of like runs it and works it now. So it's tough to get Mario there now. You know? Right. So, you know, we introduced him to Mario. He said, "Oh my God, crazy!" You know, so every time I put money up to pay him for a coffee stand at the bar, you know, he says, "Your money's no good here."
Oh, yeah, I know. They like that.
And Joe Leonardi, who works for me back then, he would say, he got in the car, he goes, "Oh, I can't believe the guy did that. How respected you are." I says, "Not me. It's my family. It's a little of everything. We were a local business like he is, and we all respected each other. We all helped each other. Da da da. That's what it's all about."
I know, that's what it's about for me. I'm like, you know, I mean, I love all that stuff, and it's, you know, I don't think I paid for a coffee at Fortunato's in maybe 10 years, but, you know, send a couple pies over, you know what I'm saying?
One hand washes the other.
I've done more than enough.
Now, do you remember the Galleria?
No.
On Metropolitan Avenue, you know what Napoli Bakery is?
I know what Napoli Bakery is very well. We order all of our bread from there.
Okay, so that right next door to that, couple of stores was the Galleria pastry shop, which opened up after Fortunato's.
Okay.
So that was a little bit of a a
little beef.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That didn't go well. It was really not the way things should be done. You know?
Right.
It's like you opening up a pizza shop on the next corner from San Marco. You know, guys always tried to keep their businesses a decent amount away from each other.
Sure.
So actually, they got pinched too. One of the brothers there went to jail for longer than. You know,
what did he do? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly. It was something with gambling or something like that.
Something with gambling.
Yeah, that's what everybody did. I mean,
yeah, Mario. I'm pretty sure. I mean, and you could fucking just Google search Mario Fortunato, find out for yourself. But Yeah, I'm pretty sure that. I mean, he ended up suing the state, ended up suing the feds, and he got paid.
So another story I'll tell you, just about the neighborhood and how we respect each other's business and so on and so forth. So, Tadoni's was the deli.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember Tadoni's.
I wasn't around for that.
Okay, so where I'm talking on Metropolitan Avenue, across from like Napoli, but like where the dentist office is on Metropolitan Avenue and Longmont Street.
Sure.
Like where Jimmy T's office is?
Yes, I know exactly where Jimmy T's office is.
Right. So Tadoni's was there.
Where Jimmy T's office is?
Right next door to it.
Okay.
So it was a deli, Italian deli.
Oh, nice.
Georgie Tadoni and her brother Frank ran it.
Right.
So Georgie Tadoni used to get up at 3:34 in the morning, and she'd go downstairs. She lived in the building. She'd walk downstairs, and she would make fresh mozzarella. Okay. So in Crisci's probably about 9:30 in the afternoon, the phone would ring. It'd be Georgie. If I picked up the phone, my brother, my father, whoever was there, picked up the phone. How many you need today, Louis? So I tell her, give me 12, give me 15, give me 16, depending on what I knew how to make.
Right.
So she would actually have one of the guys that worked there walk it over and bring it to us. Then about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that was just for lunch. 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we get a phone call again, Georgie. How many you need? Give me another 15. Give me another 20. Friday, Saturday night, whatever. The guy come, deliver the fresh mozzarella. So she made fresh mozzarella. She used to smoke mozzarella in a garbage can in a little alley.
Jeez. Yeah, the cold smoke, yeah.
A little alley there. She used to smoke the mozzarella. Something we used to get some smoke too. Right. But just to show you how we all helped each other and worked for each other, And she was such an elegant old lady. She got to be an old lady. Her hands, you shook her hand, she'd crush your hands.
Right. Oh, yeah.
She's very, very religious Catholic. You went there near the register. She had the candle lit all the time. Donations. But me and my brother just talked about her Saturday night. We were out dinner and we were talking about Georgie, how she used to bring the mozzarella. So, but think about the type of restaurant that we had, the quality of products that we had. We had fresh mozzarella delivered twice a day.